2022 was a rough year, to put it lightly. Big virus is still floating around. Some states in the US value gun ownership over bodily autonomy, and marginalized groups are forever endangered due to negligence or outright hatred in places of power. But you know what? When it all boils down, at least we can enjoy some video games. I took a solemn vow to reduce my social media engagement and spend what little spare time I have doing something fun. And what's more fun than gaming? We all game around here, it's nothing to be ashamed of. While I'm playing the hot classics on Sega Saturn, I still set aside time to play newer titles. So I figured I'd compile a list of my favorite games that launched this year. Think of it as a post-mortem, if you will. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. It's worth noting that this list isn't in any particular order until about number 1, but I want to start with a game that launched in April. That game is me. I purchased an Apple Watch and essentially turned myself into a fleshy, doughy Tamagotchi of a man. Monitoring my heart rate, exercise, stand, and movement rings has felt like a fun resource management simulation. Combined with the calorie counter, I feel like I should be keychained to a backpack or something. I'm not complaining. It's fun to sneeze and have your watch think you're doing a 5K. Seriously, I tend to have these violent sounding sneezes and my watch will pop a notification that just says, keep it going. Like, what did it mean by that? I can only sneeze so much. Coming up at number 9, we have a game that I didn't even expect to enjoy as much as I did, but Aperture Desk Job was a great little experience. It's only about half an hour, and while you can play it on PC with a controller, I recommend trying it on a Steam Deck if you can. The gyroscope puts in a lot of work here. It's well written, engaging, and free. You can't beat free, especially these days. Hanging out at number 8, we have everyone's little indie darling That Could. A sleeper hit if you ask me. That's right folks, I'm talking about Elden Ring. You might have heard of this one. What can I say about a game that hasn't been said by nearly every content creator on the planet? Well, Elden Ring came out right after my dad died, and I smoked the hell out of that game. I sunk like 80 hours in less than a month. My friends and I affectionately refer to playing Elden Ring as clocking in because for a while my job was essentially to not think about what was going on in my life. Elden Ring helped soften the blow, and I'm grateful. Gran Turismo 7 is truly the Gran Turismo of itself. It's practically a JRPG at this point. You go to cafes to pick up what are essentially quests, and you upgrade your gear with currency from said quests or from the cash shop. Like a free-to-play MMO that just so happens to be $70 goddamn dollars? Jesus Christ. You too can wail for your favorite car. Aside from the heinous business practices, this game looks absolutely fantastic. And on PS5, the haptics and adaptive triggers make for a truly immersive experience. I happened to get it on sale, so I thought to myself, oh well, I can spend like $20 on microtransaction or whatever. But thankfully I didn't falter. After all, Magic the Gathering Arena has control of my cash like a dog chained to a wooden spike. I'm not well. I spent way too much money this year on cards that aren't even real. Want to play a fun multiplayer game that isn't riddled with microtransactions? Well then look no further than number 6. Splatoon 3. I'm going to go ahead and give this game my crowned Privatelyattack Best Soundtrack of the Year award right now. It's got Brazilian, Indian, and Japanese vibes all around, and the world's bands in the game all have unique flavors to them. One band is straight up just Number Girl. I love that band. They're called Seaside. I'd go to your concert, but it's like probably underwater, and I'd probably get the bends or something. Speaking of the bends, my Spotify Wrapped says my most played track this year was No Surprises by Radiohead. That's really sad. I don't like that. But not as much as I hate number 5's menu design. Everything about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 owns, except for the fact that the fucking season pass is baked into the game's main menu. I'd understand if it was on like the title menu or something, but this is just weird. Quit trying to sell me more of your game. I already bought the damn thing. I don't want to spend half of the game's price for, like, gems. Sorry, I got a little caught up there. The game's great. The music's on point, character designs aren't needlessly horny like the last game, and the combat is as stellar as ever. Good work, Monolith Soft. Now break into Namco's office and get the source code for Xenosaga 1 through 3. Those games need a remaster more than anything. Rolling on down at number 4, we have Soul Hackers 2. Alright, look. A lot of people have been real weird about this game. Is it good? Yes. Does it have flaws? Yeah. Not every Atlas game is going to have the same budget as Shin Megami Tensei 5 or Persona 5. For every big AAA release, you have your Tokyo Mirage Sessions or your Devil Survivors. Soul Hackers 2 is a PS2 Atlas title made for a modern audience, warts and all. Dungeon designs are a little bit uninspired, music is samey, but there's a good game right underneath the problems. The only unforgivable grievance is the batshit insane DLC. Character boosts are one thing, but locking demons and a whole extra character is beyond the pale. Do better, and this applies to all of their big releases. Quick aside, I understand that Xenoblade also has characters locked behind DLC, and I gotta say you both shouldn't have done that. Nintendo especially is not hard up for cash to the point of charging extra for content that should already be in the base game. Hey everybody, I found something behind this building. It's number 3. It's Ghostwire Tokyo. I upgraded my computer for this game. I was dialed into the hype from the moment Ikumi Nakamura did her weird little dance thing back in 2019. What did I get 3 years later? A pretty competent RPG. I think this might be the only game on this list that actively suffered due to being in development during a pandemic. You can tell that there was more to this game that simply didn't ship. A good chunk of Ghostwire's story is delivered through a free downloadable visual novel, so that says about as much as you need to hear in regards to the game's plot. I will say this, however. The game has the best hand animations I have ever seen. Okay folks, we're down to the last 2 entries, so I'll dedicate number 2 to a game that did in fact release this year, that I currently own, and I have loaded up on my Steam Deck. I just haven't started it yet. I know I'm going to enjoy it based on what I've seen, and heard, and seen again through friends and colleagues. That game is Obsidian Entertainment's Pentiment. Here's my promise to you. I don't know when I'll finish this game. It could be today, next week, next year. It's only around 12 hours according to howlongtobeat.com, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a hurdle. However, whenever I finish Pentiment, whether I like it or not, expect at least 2,000 words. Could be in the form of a video, could be a written essay, could be like a newsletter, it could be a carrier pigeon. This game has had my metaphorical number since its announcement back at the 2021 Jeff Awards. I want to do it justice. Alright kids, we've had fun today. Lots of fun. We laughed, we cried, we got mad about DLC. The next game is devoid of all that. The only additional content resides in the form of free cosmetics and an art book for an additional $10 at point of purchase. My game of the year for 2022 is No More Heroes 3. Now you might be asking, didn't that come out on Switch last year? But this year marked the game's release on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. And if a game launches on Switch, and only Switch due to licensing agreements between Nintendo, is it truly out? On PlayStation 5, you get No More Heroes 3 at a rock-solid 60 FPS at 4K resolution. That's the dream. That's the true golden experience that we strive for in a modern game's release. I'm mostly joking here. It doesn't actually matter how you play the game so long as you do in fact play the game. Because No More Heroes 3 is the most game we've had in a long time. It's only 10 or so hours, and filled to the brim with so much raw energy that the surface tension in the barrel of monkeys is at its hot limit. The monkeys are out, and just like that ape in Nope, they are ready to kill. Well, there you have it. 10 new games that tickled my taste buds in 2022. What will 2023 hold? Final Fantasy? Resident Evil? Like a Dragon? That's all good and fun, but what about the theoretical stack of Dreamcast games I have locked away in my hard drive? Will 2023 be the year I finally play Sega Gaga? Who knows? This concludes Season 1 of Privatelyattack. I'll see you next year with something special. Look forward to it. Is this thing on? This is a Privatelyattack special report. I'm coming at you live, pre-recorded, from my apartment. Mind the curtains, the cat's been busy. Anyways, I have something to share with you. I have two secret games of the year. Only available for people who watched all the way to the end of the video. Secret game number 1 is Immortality. The game was fantastic. I loved every single second of it. I mean, every second that I was intrigued, which was most of the time. I got to play all of it within like a weekend, and I had no idea what I was doing. It freaked me out a whole bunch, and it was just great. It was just a really fun experience, especially since like my little circle of friends, we were all kind of just playing it without realizing that we were all playing it. So we're all on Twitter just like, wow, Immortality is really good. And then we're like, oh yeah, you're playing Immortality? I'm like, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's secret game number 1. Still don't know how perspective works on a webcam. Anyways, secret game number 2. I just got it last week. I'm enjoying it. I'm not very good at it. Dwarf Fortress. Technically released this year, 1.0 at least, or at least the paid Steam version, which has such wonderful features such as graphics and mouse support in a PC game. I feel like I need a college degree to play that game or to understand it, and that is, in my opinion, that's difficulty in games like perfected. Something that like it's excruciatingly difficult, but it is fun no matter what. I'm not going to compare it to any particular FromSoft game that came out in the last 10 or so years, but it is very good. Immortality is $20 on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox. It's on Game Pass currently. Dwarf Fortress is $30 on Steam. Pick them up. I'm a huge advocate for piracy. Don't pirate these games. Purchase them because they are readily available for you to purchase. Only pirate games that you can't buy MSRP from that in a way that directly supports the developers. Or just pirate Nintendo games. They have too much money. Anyways, this is Privately Attack, signing off.